Alright, it's recording. What is up, y'all? The name's Fox4224. Welcome back to Reaction Time. Today we're reacting to anything great about Godzilla 2014, 2019. And this one's by Cinemawins. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel for a notification on it. Yeah. If you're new, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to my channel and like this video. Also, this video that I'm watching right now. That we're watching right now. Anyway, let's begin. Anything great about Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which is the second movie. Spoilers, but you knew that.
Scorched Earth and
By the way, I have seen this movie, and this is actually the best Godzilla movie. The second best was 2014.
distorting Godzilla-style logos. Plus, 3 big steps and a roar is about as classic as Godzilla gets. Not the worst
That kind of sounds like one of the old Godzilla movies from the 60s.
idea to remind us of arguably the best scene from 2014 in the opening of this one. And this little jump.
Oh, and this one takes place 5 years ago, y'all.
Through the streets lines up with what Ford witnessed after that jump. Wave of mutilation checks out for Titanverse. Pixies? Yes, sir. Apparently, Rick Stanton is loosely based on Rick Sanchez.
You sure he's gonna be okay? He is in the safest place that he could be right now.
You could comfortably assume this is about Mothra waking up, but once you know the truth, you realize these reactions are about their plan to save the world.
It's gonna be okay. As you get from here, once you get some rest.
No way. Just a fraction of a percent of credit for trying to convince Eleven's cool nerd teacher to not be there when the activists show up. They're like environmental activists, right? Who murder people? I mean, the rest of them are clearly expendable.
Mothra.
In gritty, realistic reboots, they like to often just dance around.
Oh, this. In case you don't know, this one's Mothra, but the larva.
Names because the names are the cheesiest part about whatever the fantasy is.
And well, the beginning it takes place 5 years ago, and the rest of the movie takes place today.
Really enjoy that they don't shy away from these creatures' Toho given names.
Actually, it takes place like a few months ago, like 4 months ago, I think. Well, it takes place in June. It does take place in summer.
Yuji Koseki's classic.
Right now, and it's about to be fall. Actually, today's September. It takes place in June.
Mothra melody line beam today. I don't like to give this win to such terrible people, but Charles Dance just enters the room like a badass bad guy. What we are witnessing
Whoa, this takes place. That's what happened in the first movie.
here, what we're witnessing is a professional film crew
Well, that's. I think I didn't see that movie.
getting footage of this battle with creative mode on. More importantly, who knew Richard Hendricks could grow such a beautiful beard?
Which of these titans are here to threaten us, and which of these titans are here to protect us?
Tough question.
Godzilla.
And with a brand new Verizon phone on the largest.
Defying you was King Ghidorah.
Most of-
So you'd want to make Godzilla our pet?
No. We will be his.
Optimism and honesty. Optimonesty.
Titan reproduction. I think this is the one where the genitals are blurred out.
Wait, so we were subjected to the uncensored version of the first movie without even knowing it?
Oh. Wait. Go back.
Honesty. Optimonesty.
Titan reproduction. I think this is the one where the genitals are blurred out.
Wait, so we were subjected to the uncensored version?
Wow. They blurring the one that moved till they were kissing each other. But in the movie, they didn't. They didn't because, yeah.
First movie without even knowing it?
Wait a minute. Isn't that the house from Avengers Endgame?
Where have I seen that house before?
From Avengers Endgame. Yeah, that's the same house from Avengers Endgame. Yeah. That's where Iron Man's new house. Because Iron Man's house was destroyed in Iron Man 3. I don't know if y'all remember that, Iron Man 3. They were destroyed by gang of fire guys, I don't know. And well, Killian wasn't there. We're just so disappointing. Yeah. And Iron Man almost dies in Iron Man 3. And this is the same house from Endgame.
And for that matter, this girl? I have like 3,000 questions.
Can somehow replicate the biosonar on the Titans.
Yeah, I have so many questions. Too.
I know what the hell it is. I helped build a prototype.
Even Coach Taylor hates exposition.
Big fan of your wife, this work, and you.
Mick.
Middleditch will always make me chuckle. Endearing awkwardness personified. Rather than Latin, we get official Japanese names since they were discovered/created in Japan.
Gojira. That's how you say it in Japan.
Good stuff. Nessie? Ew. Good thing you're not near Japan. You thought three heads were bad.
But Emma and I believe some are benevolent.
Don't kid yourself.
Those are two perspectives that perfectly align with the character's experiences. Serizawa watched Godzilla defeat the threat in 2014, the Mutos, and then take a dip in the ocean. Regardless of the reason, that was net positive and could be interpreted as benevolence. Mark lost his son, and that's all that really matters. We're also given the scene of wolves eating an elk. The idea of benevolence in the animal kingdom among predators is sort of moot to Mark. There are always exceptions.
I don't know why wolves are there
By
anymore.
and large, animals aren't doing much that doesn't serve the sole purpose of their survival. Animal King work down here now?
Trafficking
Oh my god, is that Muto's head? What the heck?
in new and dangerous market. Titan DNA.
Oh, so he's Animal King.
A former British Army colonel turned eco-terrorist.
Ah, there it is. Activist, terrorist. Who can keep track?
Why would they want just this one when they've got the keys to your entire magic kingdom of horrors?
You Disney execs just made some nice bonuses.
It's Titans.
Once you've seen them bust through the wall and start eating your family. Oh, you mean the kaiju. You could really start to
Kaiju monster.
feel bad for these scientists, but you know what they say. A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of a sheep.
Mother of God. She had nothing to do with this.
Which, even a person who believes in God shouldn't be offended since King Ghidorah aimed from Earth.
That's King Ghidorah.
Rudolph, get her!
Bad girl twist shadowing. Laser cannon.
Oh, here comes Godzilla.
It's an intimidation display. Like a gorilla pounding its chest.
Liza would know all about the habits of underwater creatures. Ooh, his eyes glowing for a stunning shot.
I don't know why he's glowing.
Then just a reminder.
And that part almost scared me. Yo, I don't know.
Who's king?
Show me his territorial routes.
Why? Because I want to start a boat tour. Just show me. There are lines you just have to assume Kyle Chandler came up with on the spot, because if that wasn't a Coach Taylorism.
What's in Antarctica?
Do you see? Do you see now, Mark? Taiwan needs them alive, for at least Emma. So why would he use them as human shields? It actually looks like he's trying to pull them through, and he'd know that not only are they friendlies, but Emma is just as valuable to Monarch as she is to him. Mark knows his family will be safe, so it's considerate of him to come back for the soldiers.
Where's free?
Yeah, that's an entrance. You don't really need to do anything when you look like that. The middle head nudged the others as if to say, guys, you're not seeing the big picture here. Saving your dad. Love this implied hierarchy with King Ghidorah's heads. Middle dude is clearly in charge.
Here comes the mighty
In addition to
Godzilla.
writing some epic Godzilla orchestral music, our composer, Bear McCreary, also used Japanese Buddhist monks chanting for a few Godzilla's entrances. Never expected a wide shot to reveal Godzilla as the little guy.
Oh, it's the best.
We've seen it before, so no holding back. Oh, we missed! King
Yeah, he
Ghidorah
missed.
turns fire with his
Oh,
own
no!
blast thing. Gravity, beams, whatever.
Missed.
Escalation. The Mutos were a joke in comparison. Okay, yeah, he's a threat. Liza's green water monster couldn't save her this time. And all in all, this battle is in the same vein as the first movie. It's dark, snowing, muddled, and Ghidorah bails before it gets too messy.
Overpopulation. Pollution. War.
The mass extinction we feared has already begun, and we are the cause.
As a person who knows anthropogenic climate change is a real problem, it's just... Is anyone not rolling their
That's Muto from the first movie.
eyes? Propaganda
That Muto already died in the first movie.
is propaganda. We don't have giant monsters to save us. But she's basically advocating for a plague. Emma is Thanos with less empathy. At least he stopped at half. She just wants to drop a nuke on each continent. I'm not taking a win off because it still works in the movie universe, and living in peace with creatures that were here
Ghidorah.
first and
Rodin.
no signs of benevolence is significant. It makes her a sympathetic
Oh, King Kong, I remember that.
villain, even if she's advocating for the genocide of billions. Kind of like Thanos. Burn. Zhang Ziyi is always a win.
Emma, you came to me.
That's the real freaking twist. Right up until this moment, even after her FaceTime confession, you could probably convince yourself that she was just being manipulated. But now we know she went to him?
At least let them get to safety.
This is bigger than just you and me.
And that's like the perfect expression of Maddie's level of understanding and, by extension, complicity. Not sure it even occurred to her that billions had to die for this plan to work.
Rodan, the fire demon.
That's comforting.
Another correctly named kaiju that lives up to his namesake in this incarnation. You don't even consider the wake these giants leave when they fly.
That means it's coming for food or fight or...
Forecast. Yeah, that's severe weather. Eesh, no ejecting from
Boom!
that.
Look at Rodan. Wait, I don't know if y'all remember Rodan that used to have Roblox in the face. But now, yeah, the pilot made a mistake.
It matters. That's terrible. And some ingenuity from the fire demon. I'm not sure that's any better.
Whoa,
Pretty rare that you get to see monster fights between two winged kaiju actually up in the air.
Oh, God.
Godzilla. And then an
Godzilla.
underwater battle where the winged one is clearly at a distance. Pretty rare that you get to see monster fights between two winged kaiju actually up in the air.
Oh, God.
Godzilla. And then an underwater battle where the winged one is clearly at a disadvantage, ending it with a head rip-off. Yes. You get the feeling Lefty is always the one to lose a head first? Poor guy. There's the upshot. Another Torterra?
You're a monster.
Ah, oh, she got you. Admit that she got you.
Dr. Brooks.
Hey, it's Hollow Earth guy. But he had to be in his 30s in Kong, which puts him in his 70s? OMG, Miles Dyson is 72. Okay, few things. First, I thought, alright, so the moths coming down are kind of like a reference to the fairies. They're even playing Yuji Koseki's Mothra tune again. Which, by the way, is an absolutely sensational update. But it was on my second time through that... And I'm a little embarrassed, but I know that there was at least a handful of you who must have missed it as well because it's never really spoken out loud and they're never seen together, but Zhang Ziyi is playing twins, just like the fairies. This scene is only about 3 minutes later, but it's easy to miss it. This is Dr. Ling, the one we haven't seen yet. So they stuck the fairy twins in there after all. Also, yup, that's the prettiest thing you've seen and heard all day.
You're second generation monarch.
Third.
Which is just occurring to me makes total sense. When you find out that all the myths and religious beliefs based on these giant creatures are real, you hire the experts. In this case, a bunch of twins.
Excuse me, do you have something to add?
Yeah. You're wrong.
Honesty.
We can't just
Oh,
sit here.
that's another notification.
Just sit down there.
Still have some stuff.
Wait, what?
In case, a bunch of twins.
Excuse me, do you have something?
Oh, I remember him for the first. I don't know if y'all remember him for the first movie. He does come out in the first movie. First Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
2014.
Honesty.
We can't just sit here.
I can't just sit down there.
Still have some stuff
Okay.
in common. Another staggering entrance from Mothra, shining like the sun, blowing the storm away. Sound design is killer. They even sampled Mothra's original Toho sounds.
I'd be trying to save the thing.
Mothra was healing Godzilla.
The only way to heal our wounds is to make peace with the demons who created them.
You ever wonder if the line was like, yeah, well, sometimes bad things happen, you'll be alright. And Ken Watanabe said, what if I just, say, ad-lib a little poetry?
You just make that up.
No. I read it in a fortune cookie once.
Or that. Just stumbling onto an underwater city while looking for a giant lizard. After going through some Hollow Earth tunnels.
The rise of the Titans.
Roll credit. Missed opportunity.
My God.
Silla. I go.
What the hell does that mean?
Appropriate reaction. Oh, we're just sacrificing our lives willy-nilly now? Is there anything the Vikings didn't get to first? At least he gets to see some cool sights on the way out. We know from the first movie that Serizawa's father gave him this watch and that it stopped when the first bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. So this is very literally Serizawa making peace with his demons by inverting the destruction and turning it into salvation for Godzilla. Serizawa gets to take that destructive power back. Bear McCreary can't stop creating delightful music that creates a monumental final journey for Serizawa. And when you consider the real meaning behind why the Japanese created Godzilla and its connection to nuclear warfare, this is literal and symbolic closure on multiple levels. Self-sacrifice. Ken Watanabe is always a win. Also, apparently, this is Anguirus. I see it. Spikes on the back.
Here comes Godzilla.
Oh man, a reimagining of Akira Iwaube's Godzilla main title. Remember when I was like, whatever, we've seen it before. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
I know how to find them!
Mark has a turning point here where his concession to the fact that Godzilla is not incapable of benevolence, that in fact he shows respect and understanding, pulls the veil off his eyes so he can see that of course humans are the missing piece of the puzzle.
Well, Serizawa let him fight action. I used to love it when he said that.
You're telling me.
No, this time we joined the fight.
Somebody was listening.
That was awesome.
Serizawa,
What? We'll be back.
gravity beams have really never looked so dangerous, and even if you're just thinking, cool, electric breath, it totally works as something fun and different. Can't blame her.
Godzilla! Boom! Look at him. Godzilla!
Technically, I
The best movie.
for Godzilla
The
to
best
drift
Godzilla
with
movie
Jaegers, but this
ever.
works. Last time the humans were helpful, but mostly trying to stay out of the way. Solidifying our boy as a good one is very satisfying.
Here comes the fight. Boom!
And that didn't get the most likely intended reaction out of me when I saw it in the trailer the first time, but it's got an old school Godzilla feel to it, and even if I
Godzilla could finally run
I was still
again.
pretty hyped. Now it's pretty
In the first movie, he couldn't run. I don't know why.
epic. It makes more sense since I know Godzilla is all radiated up. Brutal. Finally, that human perspective that made the scale of the first movie so impressive. Speaking of the first movie, talk to the tail.
Oh god.
Oof, that's brutal. Godzilla is so nuked it only takes a few seconds to charge up a considerable blast. Yes, Godzilla's atomic eyes lighting up his reflection in the building. Mothra to the, not rescue, but aid.
Mothra's teaming
And
up
more
with
hints that
Godzilla.
Dr. Chen has some kind of connection with Mothra. Rodan is usually on the good guys team, so I expect some sour faces. But 3v1 wouldn't be nearly as much fun as tag team. Just constantly taking the epicness to new levels in this finale. Frank Castle levels are brutal. At least now they know they could use Ghidorah as a giant battery if needed. But that's another killer combo. Butt stab sneak attack. Maddie's alive.
Oh god, that was the saddest part.
Man,
Like,
that's
Godzilla was
cold.
down. That was the saddest part.
Hot since Godzilla was apparently
Yeah,
up
I
high
really
enough
cried
and has enough mass
when
to
I
heat
saw
up
that.
on re-entry, meaning King Ghidorah dropped him from space. And this
Yeah.
score, a perfect mix of, wow, that's an amazing sight with, not my boy.
Yeah, that was the saddest part. You can tell because of the sad music.
Who knew one terrifying monster protecting
Mothra
another
is
terrifying
healing Godzilla.
monster could be so emotional. And even though there was
Oh,
no possible
goddamn
way
it.
Mothra was making it out alive, this is another director getting me to feel sympathy for a bug. A big bug, but a bug. Ew, moth dust. I mean, aw, Mothra healing dust. And self-sacrifice to save Godzilla. More self-sacrifice mirroring the other queen in this movie.
Long live the king.
Hell yes.
Godzilla's alive, eh? And that's Burning Godzilla. Well, last time I saw Burning Godzilla was on 1995, y'all. The movie. Godzilla versus Destroyer, I think. Oh yeah, Godzilla versus Destroyer. Well, the movie came out in 1995 and it's Japanese.
A car is melting into puddles, and you can hear the tail charge up before you see it. Also, burning Godzilla.
Yeah, this is the second time I see him. Yay! Boom!
Just in case you weren't sure, Godzilla went burning Godzilla because of the
I kind
combination
of
of
like Mothra and
Nuke and Mothra. You can see her wings in the nuclear pulse and even hear her posthumous screech.
yeah.
Face-meltingly brutal.
Whoa! Look at that. That's super awesome.
Also brutal. Oh, man.
That's kind of what happened in the first movie, because the first movie, Mothra, I mean, not Mothra, Muto, the female, did, that's what also happened.
So
Yeah.
these guys were just standing
Oh look, there's a giant mammoth.
I waiting to see who came out on top.
A giant spider.
Bunch of lazy titans.
Robin's back.
Even the Muto knows.
Okay, that's Muto, y'all. Muto's back, but this time's a good. This time's a good guy now. King Kong is coming up next, y'all. Godzilla vs King Kong coming up next year.
Place now.
Yeah, boy.
Ending on Godzilla. No
Yeah,
next
the
stage,
ending.
just eat a king. See, I know you were all yelling at me when I was complaining about Emma's speech. She's the bad guy. But this entire credit sequence is a what if humans did die off in astronomical numbers, and also they're
They were kind of showing that to the first movie at the beginning of the
giant
movie.
kaiju just hanging out. The Sahara would bloom, coral reefs would all come back, ice sheets would stop melting. Like, fine, it's a fantasy movie, but I think we're skipping a few steps here concerning radiation. But also, whatever. These credits are like a bunch of movies jumping forward.
Oh, there's one. Oh, this one happened to the first
If they
movie.
stick to these credits as canon, I'm pretty excited for where they go.
Godzilla.
Would you believe that this is the first time Blue Oyster Cult's song has been used in a Godzilla movie? And at first I thought, cool, Blue Oyster Cult. And then, no, that sounds like, that's Serge Tankian. This remix, cover, whatever you want to call it, is epic. Even incorporating the Gojira Matsuda chanting from earlier.
Gojira.
And he promptly flipped it because cruise ships create a crap ton of emissions and pollution. I don't make the rules, that's just what happens. He's the Earth's white blood cell king. It's still a funny sentiment that after a few, months, seeing Godzilla is like a whale watch. Oh boy, you show me Mechagodzilla in this universe, and we've already got Jaegers. Get Charlie Hunnam back, let's do this. And who's not super hyped for this? And good news, they'll have someone to fight. More good news, Mothra ain't gone forever. It's always nice to see studios use the people who lived it in real life, you know? Here's what all the redacted credits say if you're interested. It's basically the history of what happened, but it can be hard to follow since it's broken up like this. I'll actually put it in the description since this is also probably hard to read. Sets up some possible things in the future. Either way, it's impressive that they chose to hide an entire story in something most people would probably never see. These are some of my favorite types of movies to cover on this channel. This spread between the critics and audience score was initially
What?
the only type of film I planned on doing when I started this channel. Then everyone requested Deadpool and promptly made it go viral, so I unrestricted my list. But I still look forward to these. Alita was one of the widest spreads I've ever seen is gone in 60 seconds, so you know I'll be on that one. But King of the Monsters illustrates the disconnect that sometimes exists. Rotten Tomatoes has this critics' consensus at the top of the score sheet. Cutting-edge effects are still no substitute for a good story, obviously. Obviously that's true, just not always for monster movies, especially Godzilla movies. The first one did better at the box office, had a higher critic rating, and a lower audience score. Go figure. There are lots and lots of factors that determine all of these things, from top billed actors to being a sequel to cultural timing to the weather. But they put a bunch of well-known kaiju on screen, called them by name, and had them fight. That's the Godzilla bar for a lot of people, myself included, and it's okay. Don't get me wrong, bigger, faster, louder doesn't necessarily mean better. I prefer 2014 for myriad reasons. I said in that video that I enjoyed the cutaways from the monster fights because it built up the tension, and by the end you're just itching for that final battle, and it feels like this enormous payoff. I really enjoyed the fights in this movie, but I will say that I wasn't nearly as excited for any of them. The final battle ends just about as over the top as 2014, but I wasn't quite as enthralled. There's also no airport entrance moment in this movie. That slow crane up on Godzilla after his glass shaking step. Close, but not much.
I think I know. Everyone thinks that Godzilla, the 2019 is better than 2014 because half the movie Godzilla shows up. Wow.
Never compared to that moment. We did eventually get a few we just can't fit it in frame set pieces. I think partly because they had a lot of monsters to get through, they didn't take the same time with each that we got in 2014. The first step out of the Muto is another epic moment that is never really felt in this movie. Maybe I'm just really into stepping. We do get the occasional low angle from the ground point of view, but it's missing some of the reverence. A large part of that is the remote locations and lack of a threat to civilians. The only time we get anything substantial in that regard is with Rodan, and he just flies over, not really interacting with the innocents. None of these things soured my experience at all. It only matters in comparison. One issue with breakneck movies with tons of action bouncing around from set piece to set piece is that a scene like this, arguably one of the prettier scenes in the film, can sort of just slip past you unless you're really focused. That's one benefit of holding back. This is a moment to take a breath and enjoy the stellar score. There's so much going on. And I might venture that King of the Monsters actually has more beautiful wides. The scale is elevated and we get moments to take in the majesty of these creatures. It's a gorgeous film, some really iconic set pieces and shots that stick with you. Everything is technically first rate. Just following Godzilla along in the ocean, even Ghidorah trapped in ice behind the bridge is just pretty. A lot of care went into this movie, from sound design and score to composition and visual effects. You've probably seen this behind-the-scenes clip of the mocap reference for Ghidorah. That speaks to effort. They're full CG characters and alien dragons at that. Modelers and animators can make
Really?
the rules as they go if they want, but using humans as reference allows them to ground the creatures and makes them feel present as if they could exist. I picked on the main message enough. The one that interests me is the one that takes place between Serizawa and Mark. It sort of ends up a little hammy because solving the riddle takes precedence, but this was a very human moment. Not to use a variation on a word that half of you will instantly hate, but Mark sort of wakes up right here. He didn't see Godzilla as anything more than a destructive predator, only being willing to save him as a means to an end. Mark understands animals and knows how to interact with them, but when Godzilla looked into his soul, he realized he'd been wrong. Challenging our preconceptions is very difficult, but you'll often find that very little is as black and white as you thought. I'm here for that message all day. And the movie isn't storyless, it just often takes a back seat. But the parallels drawn between Emma and Mothra, and the relationship and the character growth from Serizawa and Mark is well put together. And I'm excited for Godzilla vs. Kong next year.
Yeah, I'm also excited.
Next week, I'll only have a 60-second review. And then the week after, this is a cryptic frame because I'm not 100% positive I'm going to do this movie that week or not. So if you get it, no, I might have to put it off. Either way, see you next week.
The wins are 166 wins. No more song. Ah. Right. Okay. Oh, that's it. Okay. Anyway, that's gonna be end this. Okay, that's gonna be end this video, y'all. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.